Chapter 6. Being invisible was a little scary. Richard couldn't see or feel himself, so he couldn't tell where he began or ended. As he walked into Pizza World, he moved his arms and legs very slowly. He was hoping he wouldn't bump into anything. But even though he was really careful, he did. When he passed a table of 4 teenage girls, he knocked over all their empty soda cups. Ice cubes and paper cups went flying. The girls screamed. Richard froze. "Keep going," Eric's voice boomed inside Richard's head. "Have you never been invisible before?" "Are you kidding?" answered Richard. "I'm human. We can't do that." Eric gave a tiny snort. "Well then," he said, "just sit down quietly. Try not to move around a lot. At least no one knows that we are here. The drain is too busy with its food." Dorf and Henry were sitting at a table covered with pizza pies and soft drinks. Richard held his breath. Then he sat down quietly beside Henry. It looked to Richard as if the pizzas were the house special. Death by Pizza. They had peas, carrots, onions, cheese, and wheat germ on them. Death by Pizzas were famous on the mall. No one had ever died from eating one, but people had come close. "Just before drains divide, they build up their power by eating a lot," said Eric. Richard's heart sank. There were 7 pizzas on the table. "Hey, these look really good," Dorf licked his lips. "And isn't it great being here without that little nerd Richard?" "Yeah, it's great, Dorf," said Henry in a spaced-out voice. Richard felt like giving Dorf an invisible punch. "Maybe Dorf will die from the pizza," he said to Eric. "No," said Eric. "The pizza will simply help him to divide faster." Dorf picked up a glass shaker of red-hot pepper flakes and poured it all on one of the pizzas. He breathed in clouds of red dust. A big smile broke out over his face. Then he reached over to an empty table and grabbed another glass shaker. He poured pepper flakes over a second pizza. Suddenly, Dorf sprang up. He went from table to table, picking up all the pepper shakers. When his arms were full, he came back and sat down. He lined all the shakers up in front of him. Henry looked puzzled. "What are you doing, Dorf?" he asked. "Eating!" Dorf turned his widest smile on Henry. "I'm hungrier than I thought." One by one, he emptied all the shakers onto the pizzas. Henry gulped and turned green. "What is in the bottles?" Eric asked Richard. "Red-hot pepper flakes, the hottest stuff in the world. I can't believe he can eat all that and not explode." "That is it!" shouted Eric. "Red pepper! I knew I would remember. That is the weapon!" "Great!" Richard watched Dorf closely. He could hardly wait to see what the pepper flakes would do. But nothing happened. Dorf wasn't dying. He wasn't even looking sick. He was enjoying himself. He devoured slice after slice of the pizza, eating faster and faster. Henry nibbled on the edge of a piece. Then he ran gasping for water. Dorf had no attention. He ate and ate. His fair skin turned pink. His blue eyes flashed purple. A terrible greasy smile spread over his face, which was now covered with cheese and bits of carrot. "How come it's not working, Eric?" asked Richard. "I mean, if it's the weapon, shouldn't he be getting weak or something?" Then Richard had an awful thought. What if Eric was wrong? What if the pepper flakes didn't work against Dorf? "I am not wrong," snapped Eric. Too late, Richard remembered that Eric could hear his thoughts. "It is all coming back to me now. The weapon is pepper flakes. Drains cannot resist it. Once they start eating it, they cannot stop, and then they explode." "Then how come he's so happy?" asked Richard. "If anything, Dorf looks stronger now than before." "If he were eating just pepper flakes, he would indeed die soon," said Eric. but he is eating pizza also, and that is giving him strength. What can we do? Asked Richard. We must feed him pepper flakes. And only pepper flakes, said Eric. Enough to destroy him. And we must work quickly. Okay, I'll give it to him, said Richard. Tomorrow, at school. Very good, said Eric. By the time Henry came back, Dorf was on his last pizza. His face was bright red. Henry was staring into his empty cup. He looked sick. I don't feel so good, he said. Have another slice, said Dorf. Can we go home now? I think I better lie down. I'm almost finished. I feel really great. There's nothing like a pizza to get your blood flowing, shouted Dorf. How about running around the mall a few times? Maybe later, mumbled Henry. And he jumped off and ran to the bathroom. We had better go, said Eric. We are going to become visible again in about a minute. Richard got up. Very carefully, he made his way around the chairs and tables. He opened the front door and slid out of Pizza World. Then he headed back to Mutant Splendor. No one would notice if a kid in a tiny alien materialized there. They'd think it was some new game or promotion or something. And that was exactly what happened.